Ready, kids?
Aye, Captain!
I can't hear you! Oh!
Ahoy there, mateys! It's time to set sail on another episode of Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. I'm your captain, Jimbob Ovalshorts, and welcome everyone to tonight's live. As everyone's slowly coming in, whether you're over there on Twitter, tonight over here on Instagram, which I know I've got it a little more straight this evening, so I know you can see me. So I know it looks a little funny to the rest of you over there on Rumble and Odyssey and over there on YouTube, but flip to your mobile version kind of look, and we should probably straighten up for you guys. We're still testing the waters for some new things since, of course, we had that big massive ban over there on Facebook, which I finally got myself back in. So Profile 24 and UA the podcast are back on Facebook. I will provide links, of course, over at unconstitutionalawakening.com so that you can find it back again over there. And we just keep on pushing. That's all we can do. That's all any of us can do. Luis told me that we've made it to some kind of percentile because we've done over 200 episodes now with over 12,000 audio downloads, and shoot, we've got doubled, if not tripled that in video downloads across all the platforms between all of our episodes. So I can't say more than enough. Thank you so much for all of you out there continuing to support us and our complete nonsense that we have going on, because hey, somebody's got to pay attention to it. But why not? It's going to be a pretty full house, it looks like, this evening, but of course we got some lollygaggers. You can't help Bandit and his nonsense always being late. I love you, buddy. And Neptune's supposed to be here this evening, so I'm looking forward to that as well. Neither one of them have been on in a while, but of course tonight I'm super excited because my buddy and good friend from the show, of course, Dan, is back with us this evening. How you doing tonight?
How you doing, guys? How you doing? Glad to be here.
Man, we were just having some good conversation pre to the show, and it sounds like things are starting to go pretty well for you, man. All I can tell you is to keep trucking at it, because I know you're going to get exactly where you want to go. So
thank you. I appreciate that.
Just keep at it, bud. I really believe in you. And the only thing that I see being in your way is that damn state you live in, man. Like, one thing we can always kick a show off bashing on, it's California, because there's always something crummy going on there.
Everyone already says they don't sugarcoat it, but the reality is it's worse than you're led to believe, because everyone here is so poor it's almost a joke at this point. The inflation is so out of control, specifically in California. You see it in places like Hawaii or Alaska for exorbitant shipping rates or whatever, but really, in California, there's absolutely no reason for it. They just punish you for being here.
It seems that way. It seems that every time I turn around, they're punishing you folks over there in California for something else. I'm not quite sure what the deal is there, but eventually y'all are going to either get tired of it or all of y'all are going to move away. It's one of the two, right?
Well, we'll see which one I do first.
Neptune, Bandit, we were just speaking about you. I'm glad you finally made it in here. I'm excited to have both of you this evening. Thank you for joining me.
Good to be here.
As I was mentioning to the audience and to Ox before we got started, since we are on Instagram Live, which is kind of a new format for us, we are in this weird format so that they can totally see us over there. So all of you watching on your normal places, I apologize for the weird look. Turn yourself to on your mobile if you'd like, if that's where you're watching, and probably get a good place to watch. So, but anyway, we were bashing on California, but I gotta say, Bandit, how you doing? How you been?
Good, man. Doing good as usual.
Fantabulous. And Neptune, are you there? Or are you just lurking in the shadows?
Having camera issues too. I'll see if I can figure it out.
No worries,
I'm
no
here.
worries at all. Like I'm glad you guys can be here. It's actually quite nice. I think this is the first time in quite some time that
I think this is the original OG setup.
the OG crew is sitting here getting ready to throw it down this evening. So
it was 1 year ago, last Friday, that we did this together.
That all of us were on here together.
Wow.
And that was our 100th episode special, I believe.
Yeah, I remember that.
You're absolutely right. And here we are getting close to 200, our 200th consecutive episode. Of course, we're in 205, I believe, for episodes altogether.
And what do they say? Like the majority of podcasts, don't make it past 12? Is it 12 or 20?
They don't make it anywhere close to 200 episodes. That's for sure.
No.
And
oh man,
we continue to keep trucking. So as they continue to fall off, people are going to have less and less to listen to, and eventually everyone's going to be listening to this nonsense. So hey,
well, I think most amateur podcasts drop off at like 12 episodes.
Well, yeah, because they're when you get a depressed Indian and a fake Arab together to try to make podcasts, of course it's only going to last about 12 episodes.
Shots fired.
Whoops.
Bruh.
Soundboard on cue.
Excellent.
I'm in danger.
Oh, well, I mean, it is what it is. But, that's why we keep on trucking and here to bring you some good information. As we were saying, we were just bashing on California, but I also got to say, I know one thing that I wanted to talk about this week that I just thought was absolutely hilarious was, and I know all of y'all have seen it, but that dude that went over the judge's podium.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Watching that clip.
I sent the picture into the group chat of how they brought him back into the courtroom.
Yeah,
how they
gonna,
had him
bring this guy back in as Hannibal Lecter.
I literally was thinking the same thing. Hannibal Lecter.
That's exactly what he looked like.
Strapped down. Oh my god.
They had him in mittens, the spit bag, mittens, belly chain, ankle shackles, and handcuffs.
This guy was headed for the electric chair, dude.
Now he's got 13 more felonies slapped on him.
13 more felonies.
Oh my god.
And I can't even remember what he was in there for originally.
I don't much care for the court system, but how are you going to be that dumb, my guy?
Right. Like I appreciate the energy, but I think you spent it in the wrong spot.
Yeah. Having said that, he'd make a mighty fine varsity linebacker. That technique was impeccable.
He could have made it for WWE. That 5-star frog splash.
That guy was soaring.
Like
I think the felonies he got thrown at him for what he did in court was actually more severe than what he was actually in court for, wasn't it?
Amazing.
I can't remember what he was in there for originally, though.
That is just wow.
That's awesome.
I mean, it is like part of me is like, damn, dude, that was pretty dumb. The other part of me is like, damn, dude, I appreciate you doing that because it makes for great content.
There are things in life you can't fucking make this shit up.
No,
and that's some of it right there. Like just absolute ridiculous nonsense that human beings will do, and that's why, I will stand by the fact that I truly believe that no matter how much they push, at the end of the day, humans are always still going to do what they want, and they're always going to most of them are always going to be free at the end of the day because they're going to do whatever they want regardless. You know what I mean? Like,
yes,
they don't give a shit. They don't give a damn.
Yep.
Especially that dude. He clearly
there were no fucks given.
He was already in Nevada.
You beat me to it there, Neptune.
He was in Nevada.
Zero.
There were none. Absolutely none.
I mean,
oh jeez.
I don't know. Like I said, it's good energy. It's good energy to see. Like we need to see, that kind of energy towards bucking the system, but on a larger level and in a better standpoint. Not
That is crazy misplaced energy.
Yes. Like that was the worst place to put it. Like there, I could think of plenty more. Let's say other political figures that deserve a 5-star frog splash that it might be more effective to. Some of them 80-year-old people aren't going to take one of those very well.
I would love to
Paul
open the
Pelosi
headlines
with
one
a
morning.
hammer up his ass.
I would love to open the
Sorry,
headlines
I
one
couldn't
morning.
help
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
I want to see a headline that says that Nancy Pelosi just got absolutely Terry Tate office linebacker tackled. And it would make my day. Because the visual on that, have you guys seen that video?
Yes, I know
Terry
exactly
Tate
what
office
you- yes.
linebacker is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my whole life. And I can't imagine a 280-pound man just sprinting full speed and like swan diving right into her.
I can imagine the after effects when she comes rolling back in the room and she's all like,
Come on.
Oh,
couldn't
man.
resist.
Yeah.
Speaking of some good laughs this week, did anybody else take the opportunity to check out that 3-hour-long interview with Katt Williams?
I only got bits and pieces, so you guys are going to have to help me out here because I did not see that
Yeah.
the whole entirety of that thing.
I sat and listened to it Sunday afternoon. Like I carried the phone around with me and had it playing because I was very curious. I kept seeing clips and kept seeing clips and kept seeing clips. So I finally just had to put it all together and sit down and listen to all of it. And like I was reading where Ice Cube come out just like today even and was like, yeah, Katt Williams was pretty much spot on other than he left out a few things.
Cube got canceled recently for something else he said, and I can't even remember what it was exactly.
And I seen somebody say like it actually made me laugh too. I seen somebody say that Katt Williams is the guy that a lot of y'all are claiming that Dave Chappelle is, and I was like, in a good sense, yeah, I could get that because he did just go out there and pretty much throw everybody he doesn't work with under the anymore under the bus. Like he pretty much told the truth. He said he was tired of listening to all these folks come on these shows and lie about it. He went on there and just went flat out. And like by the end of the conversation, he was even talking about how he's worried about Kim Jong just like I am. Like that's like I was just like, dude, me and Katt are almost on the same level right here, bro. Like and the way he ripped Steve Harvey made me die because like I've been on this anti-Steve Harvey thing since he just caused my entire state's taxes to go up since he paid $10 million for the Rock Ranch and it's a complete write-off. So I'm still quite angry about that.
Katt mentioned something about Steve Harvey, like
His man
making
unit.
it his personal mission to destroy Katt Williams.
It seems that way. He even stole his story about being homeless is what he was talking about.
So in that aspect of that whole interview, I don't blame Katt Williams for having a grudge against Steve Harvey.
I think the funniest part about that whole time that he was dragging Steve Harvey was that he was like, you remember when he had a fade? It was fake.
Dude,
And
that shit
everyone
had
just
me
like ripped his
dying.
hairline.
I've seen some good memes this week over his hairline.
So dumb.
It had me cracking up. Like, and I mean, but it's I know a lot of people in the truth world don't care about like celebrity nonsense, but this is where it starts. If stuff like this is what starts coming out at the beginning of the year, and people are actually finally paying attention to that flight log that I've been screaming about for how long have we known each other, guys?
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been talking about it the entire time. I believe
Yeah.
I used to have a public link to it on my Google Drive because
No,
Mhm.
it would
Has
officially
it-
be, with the exception of Ox, who I've known for almost 7 years now. I've known
Yeah.
you boys for almost going on 6. So, yeah, we've been friends for a long time.
Yeah.
been doing this thing for a minute now, and I couldn't ask for a better group of guys to do it with. That's for sure. Like, I think I talk to you guys more than I talk to anybody else that I actually know, and that's the truth about the situation. Like,
Yeah, I think I just made mention of that the other day.
You did.
Like, you guys,
You're the one that brought it up. Yeah.
yeah, you guys are the longest running group of friends that I've had for a while.
And I couldn't be prouder of that fact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rad. That's rad.
hey man, well,
But hey,
I appreciate you guys as well.
Can we touch on something else real quick?
What do we got?
Jimmy brought up the flight logs, and that
Right.
there is more. There's more being released than just flight logs.
Yeah, it's actual records of what people were interested in when they went there. Stephen Hawking.
Yeah, and not just
Stephen
that.
Hawking's a weirdo.
Interviews with the Epstein victims too.
Jimmy, did you literally just dub Herbert over that?
You might want to give me that nice muscly arm right there.
Okay, that's even better than the dub. Okay. Christ. I haven't been keeping up a whole hell of a lot with it because I don't know. I might be a little bit doomsaying at this point, but
the Stephen Hawking thing is the best.
Okay, the memes alone make that one.
The memes are legendary.
The memes alone make that one.
Because
putting fucking Limp Bizkit over a guy in a wheelchair,
oh my
just
god,
rolling down a hill, just
incredible.
I sent Jay, one of our admins from the former Facebook page, sent me one that I sent to the group, and it's the scene from Malcolm in the Middle where their dark-skinned friend that has all the medical problems has a robot suit and comes busting through their garage door. And it's titled, of course, about old dude there that apparently liked to watch midgets do complex math problems on chalkboards that were too tall. Wait, can I say midgets? Is that a bad word? Oh well.
Man, what an interesting couple of weeks it's been. That's for sure. But I must say, despite all the bullshit in the world, this year has started off on the right foot, and I do hope the best for everybody, regardless of the nonsense and the BS going on right now.
Oh, it. The more we ignore all of their nonsense, the harder it is for them to pass it. That's why they're throwing so much nonsense out at once.
It seems that way, and you know what? I couldn't be happier for that fact. It's like
because we have just gotten to the point where we just don't give a shit what their nonsense is about anymore.
Yeah, it's a victory in of itself, and it goes into that thing. Jimmy, I think you're the one that actually could be quoted as saying it first. If we all stop paying taxes at once, what the hell are they going to do about it?
What are they going to do?
There's literally the problem is the taxes are built in now. Every way you can pay is basically it used to be paper or plastic. Half of these places, especially in California, that's one of my gripes about here, is that a lot of them advertise that they're cashless, which is illegal. I just won't go into those places, right? Yeah, I know. That's why the taco guy takes cash.
Yeah, that's right. That's why the taco guy takes, and that's a point that Bandit has made 12.5 times, and it's a point that I will continue to reiterate too. Is that you can threaten cashless all you want, but I promise there's still going to be a ton more people that are out there spending cash than you want to believe. Like.
Yep.
It's just that legit. Like I'm one of them. Like, sure, do I get my paycheck direct deposited on my Cash App? Sure, but I immediately get it turned into cash because I'm just like, no, I'm not doing this. Like, I don't want you guys playing with my stuff. I don't care. And yes, please come and look at my $600 on purpose transactions because I want you to. like that's who I am.
I like your style.
Well, what? How many of us is there? And how far behind are they on any kind of true government work, real government work?
Yeah.
By the time they catch up to me, I'll be gone. Like so deep into the mountains that you won't even know who I am. And where are you going to find me then? Because good luck walking through Appalachian Nom, like.
Yep. Amen to that.
Like no one with anyone with half a brain is not walking through there at night looking for anyone.
Well, but I got to tell you, if they do go to a cashless society, it doesn't even exist in cashless societies. For example, my mom tells me stories of living in Soviet Russia, and my grandparents tell me stories about living in Soviet Russia. Nobody had anything, but everyone had the same nothing, so it was okay, you know. Like, basically,
right on, man.
If you unless you worked with materials or food, you had nothing to trade, you know. And that really became the system. It was barter because no one had shit.
It will be. It will be when it all comes crashing down. That's what it will rely on, is a barter system. You better have you better have a product or service that is of some value to your community. Otherwise,
who runs Barter Town?
If you don't have a service or a good that is of use,
right?
Nobody around you's got no use for you.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
well, because everybody automatically assumes that when somebody mentions barter, they mention it has to be a physical good that you can touch. That's not always the case.
It so far from the truth. I'm a chef and I've catered events, and that's like considered my end of the deal, you know?
Yeah. There are basic necessities people would need in a post-apocalyptic world, but there are services people would need. And you should have, there is value in community in everybody being able to offer a service to their friends, their family, to their community. So in the end, when it all comes crashing down, that's all it's going to come.
Well, and you touch on another good thing, you know, when it comes crashing down, everybody likes to just fantasize about this post-apocalyptic world, you know, from movies, video games, stuff like that. And that's not really going to be the case. Everybody wants it to be that way, but it really is not going to be like that. The US of A will continue on, but just in a different form or forms, plural.
Balkanized.
You know? I mean, the government, let's face it, this beast has become so big and bloated, and it has its fingers, in so many different places all over the world. You're not going to wake up one morning and it's just going to cease to exist.
Yeah,
you know,
and you know the worst part about all of that is even
how long did it take the Roman Empire to fall?
Right. I mean, even if you could wish for a world where that completely went away, there would always be elements of a higher society that wants to control.
Exactly.
We already live in a system where the government is so bloated and wasteful that if they essentially just broke down into individual states, it'd become confederacies of their own overnight. And you still have your aristocracy, exactly like you're saying.
Because fuck them, that's why.
The Eastern Roman Empire was still around when Christopher Columbus sailed to the New World.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, remnants of the Eastern Roman Empire.
People have no true idea. Okay,
Yeah.
Listen, it was one of our most. It was one of my. I'll give it. It was one of my most bloated, boring episodes we've ever done, but it is completely plausible. We did it with that lady that's actually sat down and done it all, but it's completely plausible to actually put a historical timeline in a little bit better order than the way that they teach it.
Whoa.
They got you. No. Listen, they got you.
Hey, Jimmy, we didn't. I mean, she did it, but I remember that. That is one of the episodes I remember most vividly.
I didn't say there was anything good about it.
Oh, no. I don't think we talked about that, but for like 5 minutes of the 2 hours that she was on. You remember?
Yet I have tons of emails still, like regularly. Like listen, mistakes were made. We've made quite a few, and I don't care. Like, I enjoy talking to different people of all walks of life.
She was not a fan of me.
No, many of them have not been fans of. We have people that are not fans of you. We have people that are not fans of Luis. We have people that are not fans of me. I think Ox and Neptune are the only two that are actually safe. Like,
and, you know, I don't know why the hell. Like, okay, well, first off, he's never going to see this anyway. So, Moral Bob, for all the crap you had to
he's
say
probably
about
totally
Luis.
watching on Instagram,
Yeah.
but that's cool. Go ahead.
Yeah, Moral Bob, you're an asshole.
I can't. I just can't with guys like that.
I can't. No, I can't either. No, it's mentally draining. Okay, we got way off topic, but I wanted to.
It always happens. What are you talking about?
I wanted to punch down one thought that I did have, as it applies to, you know, where we would eventually wind up in, you know, some sort of post-apocalyptic world.
Oh yeah,
I think Bandit, he made a good point that it's people, they don't understand the slow burn of how, you know, like the Eastern Roman Empire continued to stay afloat until the time that Columbus completely
the later part of the 15th century. That's
exactly.
insane.
He completely lost his ass. He didn't know his ass from a hole in the ground, right?
Yeah.
But humor me, if you will, that I think that if we were to approach some sort of 21st century apocalyptic scenario, that we'd just be repeating history in a lot of ways. That
You mean like we already are?
Yeah, time is cyclical for sure. But
I mean,
we'll balkanize.
Yeah, we absolutely would balkanize. And the reality of that is, I think, is you're going to see how communities come together to look out for each other. And then I still think that there would be elements that try to kind of
take control,
stick their fingers in that and take
control. Of course, foreign governments are going to try their best.
They see an opportunity to kind of hijack someone else's success.
This is great that you actually went there like that, you know, with that little bit of worrisome, because this actually leads me into something else I wanted to talk about this evening. You know, I feel like in a place like where we wanted to establish, like, because again, anarchy doesn't mean there's not any like rules. You know what I'm saying? It just means there's not any rulers. And you know, I know everybody's always worried about the mob lord mentality, gang lord mentality, but you know, if you put in a certain set of standards and you have some great ideas to enforce those standards, then you know you could probably do some really cool things.
People will self-govern.
What I'm talking about is
absolutely
you know, if you had a thing like, I don't know, somebody that wanted to put their hands on underage human beings, you could use some of these 13 medieval torture methods that are morbid and twisted. Like,
am I the only person on Earth that misses the days when France was actually fucking based?
Right?
How to deal with problems like this?
They're more based than us these days. They're just pissed off about anything and they're looking for a fight. Those Frenchmen aren't fucking around at this point.
I think they're finally getting back to their roots in their DNA.
Yeah, they're getting mad.
I think it took them a while to get there, but I'll give them credit for that.
And, you know,
but I do miss the days when France was the most based of any European nation on planet Earth.
I mean,
yeah, man, 100%.
Well, let's take into account something, okay? We have the last time, and this is just what they know about. We have 102 guns per 100 people here in the U.S.
Allegedly.
And allegedly,
no, that's the registered guns.
And we have almost 400 million people.
Gotcha, bitch.
I think if anything happened here that happens in France on, you know, like the scale, like a comparable scale, I think it would have a worldwide effect.
Absolutely.
You know,
Yeah.
just because of the absolute size of the U.S. and the amount of people here. If anything proportional happened here is what happens in France, it'd be devastating. You know?
Mm-hmm.
So
There's definitely a difference in scope between individual nations in Europe. I mean, France is the size of what, Kentucky? So I mean, you have to think for a moment. Like, there's obviously we're definitely different in that we're a hodgepodge of different cultures.
And we have a population here in the United States of people that just want to be left alone that equals to the entirety of the population of France. And when you push those people that want to be left alone, you know, these people, they don't have any records. They don't cause any trouble. They've got families. But when you push that group, that's when you're going to see a reaction proportional to what's going on in France.
Oh, the old proportional. I love it. I'm here for
it.
Proportional response.
We are based, just in a different way.
Yeah. Proportional response, though. I absolutely love that.
Well, so
you know, I got a question for you guys, though, to sort of touch on this topic. Do you think that they haven't just flipped the circumstances the way they want them to, so that they can somehow find a way to manage the people who want to be left alone?
It's always controlled
long enough to buy a property and think they're well off and not worry about it, and then they change everything overnight.
I feel like it's always controlled opposition.
I know, but I'm saying, do you think that even in this scenario, where, like Bandit's saying, we have that proportional massive amount of people who just want to be left alone, do you think that, you know, the powers that
they're going to let those people settle down?
I'll phrase it. Yeah, I was going to say it would be smarter to let those people settle down and get their footing and be happy living as they are, so they don't want to change their lifestyle. So that they will comply with whatever they roll out afterwards, as long as their lifestyle doesn't have to change.
Okay. And I feel like we're certainly reapproaching that vector of kind of, you know, the 20th century that absolutely adored Ronald Reagan, and I'm not making any bones about this one. But the boomers who have idolized Ronald Reagan for the last 50 years, I'm going to be sorry.
Man, those Reaganomics are really doing them good.
Oh yeah, they're doing so well for us. Aren't they?
Well, the problem is they're not doing the decent thing and dying. So none of us can buy 3 houses.
Just hold on. I want to add something to this.
Yeah.
In the next year or two, they are expecting like a crazy number of boomers to become like homeless because inflation is surpassing their pensions and Social Security, and their retirements are going to run out, and they're not going to be able to afford to live in society getting just what they're getting.
Oh, is it the consequences of their own actions?
Oh, I think maybe they should have pulled themselves up by their bootstraps harder.
All you got to do is sell one of your rental properties. That's all.
But
you'll be all right.
Seriously, though, it is a crazy number, though. They're expecting hundreds of thousands.
Yes. Yeah, but please give me more.
Yes, very
advice.
Sad.
Yes,
not sad at all.
Please give me more advice on put options and
so
stock points.
I do want to circle back. I do want to circle back to the medieval torture things. I want to ask you guys, because I mean, me and Bandit talk about this all the time, of course. But like, do you guys have any specific form of medieval torture that you have always found quite interesting? I really like the one where you soak someone's feet in saline solution and then let goats lick them. I think that's just the bee's knees. Plus, it's another purpose for goats. They literally
Everybody
lick,
just got so quiet.
they literally lick the skin off. Like it's
I know it's
Wow.
not the it's definitely not the worst.
no, but it would be still,
I
It's
think we
not-
should
The
bring
worst
back the
one.
oubliette.
ooh.
The
What
worst one I've ever heard of was called the Mongolian Death by Inches. And
Okay.
I feel for some reason like Bandit knows all about this one. Correct me if I'm wrong here at any point, but essentially what they would do is if you were a prisoner of the Great Khan and you were slated to be executed brutally or whatever it was, they
Didn't they
would do
put you in a
this.
box? Is that it?
Oh, no. You wish you were in a box. They start cutting off your fingertips, digit by digit, on your hands, one at a time, until you have stumps, basically. Then they cut off your toes, then
Yikes.
your hands, then your feet, your elbows. They basically cut you down into your torso and your head. This is on a daily basis, and they'll stop the bleeding to keep you alive. And then
Yikes.
they tear out your tongue and your eyes, and they cut you open in the middle of the street and let the dogs eat you so you can still hear yourself being killed. That is the most brutal torture, murder, death method. That's like a Metalocalypse song.
Yeah,
Is this
that's
that's
something
got to be
Cannibal
why
Corpse would-
Khan captured,
Who the hell wants
Half
that
the
to
no-
happen to them?
it-
Absolutely. I give up. Leave me alone.
Yep.
All right. The one that I know, okay, so I have two lines of thought for that. Honestly, as horrific as it is, and as much as I ethically don't agree with it, there is no faster way to induce a heart attack and force someone into the most painful death possible than to waterboard them. That's on the lighter end of things. But the opposite side of that is the bathtub. And I am not going to even suggest, Jimmy, that you even pull that up in the chat. That one is absolutely mortifying.
Yeah, I'll leave that be. I'd rather not. I mean, I have a link that has some good ones to it, and you can
the bathtub's
totally
on that
find
list. It's on the most top 10 of most gruesome torture methods ever devised.
I
And
mean,
it's bad. It's really bad.
eesh.
That one is grotesque for sure.
Nope.
But waterboarding is definitely for the more tame of the methods. That I've ever heard. That's and it's still fucking brutal. Like even if it doesn't kill you, it's still there's so many ways that can do you wrong.
And if real
in the wrong application.
if real like disgusting like true criminals, I guess, especially like the ones that need to be fed to wood chippers, had more of these ways on their list of how they actually get to choose, because they let them choose the way that they go out from this list or whatever, then maybe we wouldn't have things like those tunnels in New York City that were leading back to going from synagogues and leading to like gyms and stuff of women's locker rooms for Lord knows what, like kind of abductions they were trying to do.
I had
Have you
no idea it
seen
was leading from
the tweets?
synagogues to anywhere else. I thought it
Yeah.
was synagogue to synagogue.
Okay. Well, you
Well,
want
hold
to
on.
hear? Go ahead.
I got something. There were tweets that were brought up from right around that area from like a year ago where people were like asking their neighbors like, hey, are you hearing Yiddish? Because I am, and I'm hearing it from underneath me, and we don't have a basement.
Well, you want to know why? You want to know the true reason? They were saying that the cops and stuff stepped in and they were gonna like fill these things up, and that's what started that whole like riot that happened the other day. But I doing some digging on the internet. You guys aren't gonna believe this, but doing some digging deep onto the internet, I found the true reason that they totally finally decided to do something about it. Because see, it's truly where they were actually hiding Saddam. and they got too close to where he's hiding, so they had to shut it down. Like, there's no reason to have your Moloch statue that close to Saddam's hiding place in New York City.
I can't see this exactly.
I'll send it in the group chat. I'll send it in the group chat. I know it's terrible, but it
I was trying to scroll wheel in to look at that.
It's because of where we're at this evening, but like it was a terrible joke that, you know, oh well.
I got it.
So
we all got it.
I think Ox and I take credit for today for winning the internet.
Well, I was gonna say, you know, kind of speaking of these guys and their Yiddish and stuff, you know, you brought up an interesting thing this week that I totally want to talk about. And I think being 40 minutes into the show, hopefully we're past the radar of many of the things that we're going to get ready to talk about. And you're a little more familiar with it than we are there, Neptune, I think. And so I figured maybe you could bring up, what's that whole canal that they were wanting to build over there?
Yeah, so there's several elements involved in this discussion, and I do want to approach this as objectively as I can for a few reasons. One, I want viewers to be able to do their own research on this subject.
Yes,
obviously.
Yes.
I want them to arrive at their own opinions on this topic. I feel like if I were to do it any differently, it would put us in a weird position, but I also feel it would be disingenuous.
Sure.
This is information that is publicly available that I feel like everybody should know.
Correct.
And that's really the way that I kind of wanted to go into this. So I appreciate you saving this for later, because we're probably going to be talking about this for a little while now. So
it was crazy when I saw the videos when the story broke. I couldn't believe it.
So obviously, before we get there, though, we have to really talk about the underlying elements of the canal project that's planned, specifically the one named for David Ben-Gurion. We have to really understand a few things. We have to understand both shipping lanes as they apply here in not just in the U.S., but in Europe and Asia. And we also have to understand supply lines. Like there's a larger discussion to be had about that. So, yes, Jimmy, please share this as I get ready to talk about this.
Yeah, I figured this would be the good one, because this is the one I found. Yeah,
that was the article. That's the one that kind of goes a little more into the details of why it matters and why it's important.
Gotcha. I got it. I'll pull it up.
That being said, we have to kind of understand the current importance of the Suez Canal. So the Suez, it runs through Egypt, and it's one of the primary shipping lanes that connects the Mediterranean Sea with the rest of the Atlantic Ocean. In the past, yeah, exactly. That's perfect. So Suez will connect the main strait that runs all the way down to the Atlantic Ocean to the Mediterranean. Okay, so hear me out on this. It's important to realize that Suez, it's almost 10% of global maritime trade. That's a lot of money. Okay. And it's also the shortest maritime route between Europe and Asia. Right? It's strategically important for a few reasons. The vital supply lines between Asia and Europe in this way, there's ships that pass through those shipping lanes that they have to pay a direct tax, either as a spot rate or as a tariff. The end consumer will pay a kind of a larger responsibility when it's passed back onto them as indirect taxation, as state revenue. That's super critical to understanding why the Suez is so important. It's been vital to basically all trade between Europe and Asia since it was built. I think that was the mid to late 1800s, around the end of the Civil War, somewhere between, I think it was around 1866, somewhere in there. But with all that being said, it's really significant in the 20th century because it hasn't gone down one time. It has gone down multiple times. It shut down for around a year in the 50s, and that was after the 1948 Israeli Palestinian war, and it was fully shut down. What was that? 67, 68. It shut
Correct.
down completely, all the way
Correct.
down through 1975.
Correct.
And that is critical to the entire world because that was when the oil shortage, the oil crisis was going on. So we have to understand that those are key components of what it is that is being planned before we can understand really what they're planning to do with this Ben Gurion canal that's meant to supplicate the Suez. So that being said, apparently, from what I understand, David Ben Gurion, he had drawn up a plan back in 1959, 1960, somewhere in that time frame. He had the idea of building a canal that would supplicate the Suez, therefore bypassing Egypt and Jordan altogether. Because as everybody here should understand, there is no highway routes that connect. I think it is Route 40 that runs across the coastal highway across Egypt and Jordan. That is a dead stop before you get to the Gaza Strip and West Bank. That does not exist. So the canal is a massive scope project that Israel has certainly wanted to push for a very long time. So you guys can kind of understand where I'm going with this before we get into the sort of the subjective side of this. It would cut a swath through Israel. Specifically, it would cut clean through Gaza and the West Bank.
Yep.
So I feel like people should do with that information what they will, but understand this is not a new project.
Hey, now can I make a mention into this? I hate to be a butt in, but
Yeah,
in the article that I have shared not only with Neptune that he made mention about a minute ago, I have also shared it on every channel that you guys are watching on, and I'll make sure that I share it with the replays as well because this goes into very in depth into what Neptune is speaking on, and it is a very unbiased article that is actually giving you true information here. And this article brings to mention that part of the plans in many of the times that they've spoken on doing this, on how they planned on wiping out the area to make this canal, totally involve nuclear weapons.
And that's a great point. Okay. Actually, we can get into that here in just a moment.
Yes, sir.
Because I want to finish this on something that was said by Uncle BB in his own words. So for whatever comes of all this, for however it gets carved up, if Israel gets its way and they get what they want, we are looking at obviously a new shipping lane. Sort of, it's going to be revenue for them, and it would, in the larger implications, I think, and this is me speaking personally, because I don't want this to reflect the opinions of everybody else on this podcast. It's going to drive revenue to Israel, and it's going to disenfranchise the Arab world. Still, having said that, I want to say and be absolutely clear in one thing that
Excuse me.
the facts of this are only said on the back of Netanyahu's own words, which is that his plan is to destroy Hamas, demilitarize Gaza, and de-radicalize the whole of Palestinian society. So there is a plan to subjugate all of the land that is occupied by Palestine as of now.
Interesting.
And that is his words, not mine. I did not say that. So again, I am trying to approach that part of this conversation as objectively as I can, because there's a lot of ways to take that, and
Sure,
there's a lot going on in the larger discussion.
Phrasing.
So
Phrasing.
To be fair, anybody who doesn't look at that and come to the same conclusion as we have is a complete and utter fucking idiot.
Well,
listen, if you
of the world's shipping goes through the Suez Canal. Period. End of discussion.
It's close to 10%, if not a little more, and it could be higher. Like those shipping lanes that run through the Horn of Africa, up through the Suez Canal and into the Mediterranean. Those are key shipping elements.
I can bring that map back up.
This is objectively, from Israel's perspective, this is a money grab for them. Like if they were
it's a Hail Mary shot.
If they were to capitalize on this, they would get a lot of money, because they are going to be the countries that are responsible for taking those direct taxes through those shipping lanes, right? And that's money that can disenfranchise the Arab world, right? Yeah. So bring that graphic back up.
Yeah.
So
Well, having said that, how many?
That's Egypt there on the left. Is that Jordan in the middle?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's Israel, Palestine, the West Bank on the right.
I've seen two versions of this, where in this version that I see right here, I see that they have it cut here, but I've also seen versions of this where it cuts here. It's not this weird L. It's a boom. We're coming through here, straight through here.
But humor me for a moment on this, and this is opinion based. Humor me, if you will, that they still go through with this plan, no matter how they decide to cut it. That nations friendly to the West can completely bypass the Suez Canal and pay Israel instead of paying Egypt or Jordan.
But let's be real about something real quick, okay? And I am of
maritime trade it's something I'm very passionate about. So
I understand, but let's be real about something before. It is going to take a lot for this to happen. Okay.
Yeah.
Like the total and utter extermination of a nationality of people.
Absolutely. The logistics of the project are it's damning. So
social media, like I've said, is it's a hell of a thing, and the whole world is watching a genocide right now.
I would say, additionally, if and when that canal is constructed, that would essentially cement bricks becoming a very real threat to the U.S. dollar, more than it already is. because the entire Arabic world would stand in unity and basically say, fuck you people, we're done with the dollar. Period. End of story. And if you want our oil, you use BRICS currency. That's it.
Yeah. There's a lot to be taken away from this. And again, I was, so let me be clear. I just wanted to prevail the kind of the facts of this more than I wanted to offer kind of a bias on this. Like, I do have my opinions, but everybody should know the facts of where this leads. If they get behind it, if they get behind this plan, if they even unwittingly get behind this plan.
Well, that's the way it's going to be slowballed out to them. They don't get votes honestly like that. And even if they did, it wouldn't matter because they're going to do what they want anyway. They're politicians at the end of the day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
They're going to do what they want. And whether or not they wittingly or unwittingly get into it, it's going to happen if the government wants it to happen badly enough. That's how governments work.
Fuck the people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I of course have that little shed of hope all the time because, you know, in reality, I even brought this up when Spike was on with us to him that, like, in reality, 80% of people do not partake in any of the government shenanigans. We need to make that number higher. I encourage that wholeheartedly.
Oh, I have a feeling that number is going to be much higher this year.
And because
I'm here for it. I'm here for it.
I've made this comment in the past. Like, we've done a really good job at mastering, like silent quitting, and I totally foresee as the boomers continue to die off, the rest of us below them quiet quitting the government, just completely ignoring them out of existence.
Oh, and let's not mention the 9 to 10 million people who just said, you know what? I'm not going to pay my student loans anymore.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple. If all of us literally said, we're not going to pay the mortgage anymore, what could they do?
Yep.
What could they do? What could they do? Because they're not going to be able to handle that. Like, we have more control of the system than we realize.
We need a whole episode dedicated to supply lines.
Ooh, I like this.
Both the good ones and the bad ones.
Like a special episode on the side.
Yes.
Ooh, I like the idea.
Yes, we haven't been able to do one of those in a while.
I agree, Luis. Education does need to be free. Luis is in the comment section, you guys, over there on YouTube. If you guys are watching over there, you guys can say hello. He's not with us on the show this evening, but he's with us in spirit. I'm glad you're joining us this evening for our shenanigans. I totally do have other things planned this evening. You guys know one of my favorite things is to try to find a good conspiracy to tell you guys about this week. And how many of you guys are familiar with the Ark of the Covenant?
Referring to the
yes, the Ark of the Covenant supposedly contained the 10 Commandments. Yes.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right, and there's probably a million conspiracies surrounding the Ark of the Covenant. Whether it be the Nazis had it, whether it be different people have found it at different times. I've heard current rumors of it being in Ethiopia, of course, and then there's also a good rumor that in like 2015 that. All right, so actually, let's back up a little bit further. If you go into,
all know,
if you go into
Indiana Jones,
it was Indiana Jones, yes. But if you go into the Quran, it tells you how Muhammad hid the Ark of the Covenant under Mecca or whatever. All right, and in 2015, there's claims that these dudes that were building a new mosque found the Ark of the Covenant. And when they found it, they accidentally hid it and it like blasted light and it was this crazy thing. And they called the Pope down there or some crap. This is supposedly true. And the Pope apparently colluded with the Russian like church or whatever. And they took the Ark to Antarctica to hide it or something down there. So like, of course, this is all just conspiracy theory, but there's some interesting things there about that interesting Pope fella colluding with other religions all over the world and doing some weird things anyway. And even the Nazis were headed down to Antarctica for something, and they won't let us go down there like by ourselves and investigate. I know because it's cold, but like, no, dude, there's some cool things on the Google Earth that I want to look at up close that don't make any sense, like drag marks of a spaceship or a pyramid that's possibly there, and like who knows what's underneath there because permafrost is super thick.
We all know that. I hate to bring this up, but please don't let flat earthers get wind of this discussion right here, because the power of the Ark of the Covenant, specifically stated in the Bible, brought down the wall. Was it the walls of Jericho?
Correct.
It was the walls of Jericho. They marched around Jericho so many times and then blew a horn and brought down the walls of Jericho. Please, I hope some flat earthers don't think that the Ark of the Covenant is in Antarctica to bring down the ice wall.
Oh my god.
No.
Oh my god.
Why
did you do that?
There are a lot of theories that exist on Antarctica, and I think some of them are quite plausible. Others I don't know. But the truth is, they're not going to ever let us know enough about the place to know how to discern between the two, unfortunately. There's just no way.
Yeah. Because
the reality is, you got guys who, after World War II had been won already. You had, I forgot the theory that existed, or it was like some conspiracy theory or something, but this guy was a pilot for the Navy, I want to say.
Admiral Byrd.
Pilot.
Admiral Byrd.
Operation High Jump.
Yes.
Well, there's
Operation
a couple
High
of them.
Jump,
There's
yes.
ones where he went to South America, and ones where he went to the South Pole, and somewhere he went to the North Pole.
So he was the first man to fly over the North Pole, I believe it was, on behalf of the U.S. And then they were like, well, who better to fly over Antarctica? And they picked this guy. Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much our viewers and listeners know about Operation High Jump, but he reported seeing things that you wouldn't expect to see in Antarctica, like, a beautiful green forest that he was taken to by aircraft that basically had tractor beams that escorted him in, all this stuff. And then apparently a week later, he came out and publicly stated, after stating all of this stuff, oh, no, I didn't see any of that. No one had heard from him, including his own family and all that kind of stuff. And then he comes out and publicly states that he was making it all up. And, and then on his deathbed, reportedly, I follow this guy on YouTube. I don't know if I can mention him or not, but I think his channel is great. He has just an assortment of theories out there, but it's called the Y Files. And he has some pretty interesting just conspiracy theories that he documents and talks about. Doesn't necessarily say are true or false, but he wants to bring them to everyone's attention in case you want to investigate further for yourself. And I watched this video in disbelief. My jaw was on the floor when I saw this video, because at the end of it, apparently this pilot had come out and said to his son on his deathbed, hey, all of those things were real. Bye.
Oh, yeah. Look, we even had that dude on here twice that's now hiding in the Philippines that brought us, when he came back the second time, it was because of somebody being on the deathbed for more information about his fake moon landing videos. So, hey, by the way, guys, just, you want a good laugh? Somebody named Outlaw Woman rage quit our Rumble channel because we made fun of boomers. So, yay! I figure if you guys wanted to,
nerd.
Figured you'd have a good laugh about it. I mean, I was having a laugh about it. Come on, you guys. None of you. You're no fun tonight. Well, whatever. I mean, if you can't take a joke, I don't know what to tell you. And if you can't face reality and you want to get in a pissing match, I can give you my email address and we can have a fun time about it, because I love to troll. So it is what it is, man. Like, there's so many cool things with the different Ark of the Covenant type stuff and Antarctica in general. I'm glad that you brought that up tonight, Ox. So you guys know how I feel about your weekly conspiracy. Go take you some time to look into that stuff this week, because there's all kinds of things and rabbit holes with that one. Like that's definitely one of the largest ones. And sometimes people get lost and go like in a one-track mind in one direction with that stuff too. So I don't understand like why it leads them back to the beginning of some of these weird conspiracies the way that it does. Like I've seen, like for me, for example, what started me looking into questioning just everything was actually religion. Because when I was 12 years old, I was kicked out of a Baptist church for having an NIV Bible and pierced ears. And so from religion, I started looking into other things and just questioning all kinds of stuff. And like, I've seen a lot of people leave because of the same reason, like, and start questioning the world. And then they somehow end up right back at it. Like, I feel like they never learned a lesson when they just end up right back at it in like the same spot where they started. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the opposite of what you were trying to do, right? Or am I the only one that's crazy like that?
No, I don't think
get
so.
you.
Like it I don't know. I don't know. It's just one of those things. So, of course, I'm ready. If you guys are ready to get into my favorite part of the evening, which of course is our weekly game of Pirates Against Humanity. Yeah, I actually skipped it last week because it was totally just me and Luis by ourselves. None of you guys were available. I know, Bandit, you've been MIA for a little while again. I appreciate you being back. Ox, I know me and you were talking prior to it, and you're going to be back a little more, so I look forward to that. And of course, Neptune, you've been here, but we had busy holiday things going on, and you're the poor unfortunate fellow that had to spend it with in-laws and such. So I'm so sorry. Like, so, but for Christmas, my lovely wife totally got me a box of actual Cards Against Humanity cards so that I don't have to steal the cards off of the internet. And they're up to date. I've been learning tonight there's some really cool boxes that I want to, little $5 expansion packs that I want to get. I sent one to y'all in the group chat. I can't wait to actually spend the $5 and buy that one, because just the name of the deck alone makes me want to play it. So you guys know the rules, and of course you guys got your cards. You got your cards, Neptune. I know we had that discussion. You got yourself situated over there, buddy?
Yep.
Sweet. So, of course, we played the game the same way that we play the game if you were playing in real life, with a little bit of a twist. We're more on the live setting. I'm going to pull out a black card to read, and you guys are going to choose from the cards that have been sent to you. And of course, you can also use a new feature we're adding tonight. You can also use your blank card and fill it in however you'd like to give your answer, depending on how you'd like to give your answer. We'll go for at least 3 rounds, more if you guys feel like it, because sometimes it gets really spicy and we have some good stuff going on. I have actually not opened these cards until now, so I'm just going to go with Factory Shuffle and see what it brings. Our first card is 2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. I choose blank, and that has made all the difference. Do you guys want to continue with this one or choose another card?
I'm good.
All right. Who would like to go first this evening?
It can't be me, because I'm going to have something fucked up to say.
Then it's Bandit, because he hasn't been here in the longest amount of
man.
time.
Oh, hey. Hey, choose. Say the statement again. I want to make sure I got my answer.
2 roads diverged in a yellow wood. I choose blank, and that has made all the difference.
Crib death.
You know what, Neptune? If yours is any worse than that, then go ahead.
Stop at the blank.
two roads diverged in a yellow wood. I choose,
Getting a hand job from a pirate.
and that was, and that is made all. Fuck.
I don't.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
That was a good one.
I don't know if mine will win, but I got a pretty good one for it too. Decapitating a sheep and terrifying local children with the severed head.
What the? Jesus Christ. Okay, I don't know who wins that one.
Anyone out there watching, like Luis, you can help determine the winner on this one, buddy. Feel free to chime in if you'd like, and tell us how we're going on that one. Oh, should I choose an answer card? I should choose an answer.
You should choose your winner.
Yeah.
Unless somebody jumps in and gives an answer.
All right, hang on. So, two roads diverged in a yellow wood. I choose a fuck swing, and that has made all the difference.
I think we have to put in.
There's layers to that one, Jimmy.
There's layers to that one. There was layers to yours.
I think we have to put in a parental warning on our podcasts now.
Yeah, really.
We already haven't. So, I say we just move along to the next card because I just already pulled it out. Are you guys ready?
Yep.
Let's go.
Yo, is blank racist?
Oh, okay. we can go with this one.
Hold on.
Oh, this is great.
All right, Ox, you got something?
Yeah. China's first World AIDS Day masturbation contest.
Jesus Christ.
There are just levels. There are layers to that one. Just the part alone.
Okay. I'll go next, but
Go ahead.
I want you to read the statement before I say my answer, just for the value of it.
Yo, is blank
Riding the cotton pony.
Neptune?
Breathe me the black card again.
Yo, is
That's it.
is blank racist?
Yo, is masturbating with hand sanitizer.
That's a great question, actually. Is that racist? I drew a white card so that I could throw in on this one. So yo, is refusing to pay federal and state income taxes racist?
Beautiful.
Oh, I love it. Bandit
Oh, Jesus.
Bandit and Oxbot made me spit. So
Yeah, one of them won those. Yep. I can't decide between the two.
all
Yeah,
right,
it doesn't matter. I'm ready for the next round.
ready for the next round?
Yeah.
Then black card it is. Oh God. I'm Ted Cruz, and I'm proud to endorse blank. Do you want to keep this card or draw it a second?
Yes.
I'm good.
Draw a second. I got one vote for draw another.
I'm good with it. If you're not,
I'm good with it.
All right, that's two.
I'm good
Then
with
let's
it.
go with it. All right. I'm Ted Cruz, and I'm proud to endorse.
Watching an orphanage burn.
shitting in your neighbor's toilet and leaving the lid up.
Sorry, that was a good one. Robots with human faces.
But buying things to fill the emptiness inside.
Wow.
Would you guys like to go one more? Maybe another?
Yeah, we can go another one.
Sure,
We
why
can
not?
keep going as long as you guys want. I don't care.
We'll go one more.
One more?
Yeah.
All right. Join our peaceful community. We eat grapes. We live in tents. We enjoy blank together.
Masturbating, masturbating, and accidentally frosting your cat.
Okay, run that back from the beginning, Jimmy. Let me know when it's my cue. So I have a perfect one for this.
Join our peaceful community. We eat grapes. We live in tents. We enjoy blank
Shit smeared on the wall in a public restroom.
together.
I got a pretty good one for this one.
Want me
All
to
right.
read it again?
Yeah, read me the line, buddy.
Join our peaceful community. We eat grapes. We live in tents. And we enjoy blank together.
A horsetail butt plug for bronies.
My white card says live in La Vida Loca. He's kind of lame.
I think when we finally do all get together, like this
We have
needs
to
to
play
be
this.
this has to be an absolute requirement.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have a deck, and I have some custom cards in there too. So absolutely.
Yeah, that's why I sent you guys some blank cards earlier in the evening, just in case we ran across a situation and you wanted to come up with something on the spot. Like, I have totally nothing wrong with you doing that.
Speaking of custom cards,
What you got?
yes, Jimmy, please do one more because I do have 2 custom cards. I would like to use at least one of them for this.
All right. Holy moly! Now that's what I call blank.
2 cats fucking on a tin roof.
Ox?
Actually, I feel like the other one that I had would have worked better for here, but you know what? Yeah, do one more after this. I got another one.
We got time. We're fine. We're doing all right actually this evening. Got one for that?
Yeah. Go ahead, read me the line. I'll throw it
Holy
out
moly!
there.
Holy moly! Now that's what I call
Jackhammer Jesus dildo.
Oh my god! Bandit.
This feels like a fraction of how badly we fucked you guys up this afternoon when Dan and I went full bore with all this shit.
Yeah.
I want to use it so bad. I've wanted to use it all night long, but I know that it's going to get our
Man.
page shut down. Dude, it was
Absolutely.
so good.
No,
we
it was
yeah.
all so good. But,
I'm still laughing about it. Like, every time I think about it, I'm laughing about it.
Yeah, we hit.
Bandit, did you have anything, or are you making one up?
I don't have anything, and I just don't have anything left.
All right, I'm going
But you
to
should
throw
have
one.
cards left.
I
gotta let me do the homie thing here. I got one for him. Repeat it again, Jimmy.
Holy moly! Now that's what I call
rubbing your dick on a cheese grater.
Ow.
Oh my god!
I think we stopped talking about the medieval torture devices.
Yeah.
That would have been a good one to talk about.
Yes.
Good God.
Yes.
Holy crap! So, of course, you guys know. I appreciate everybody that's been out there watching over there on our live channels this evening. I don't want to forget to make a shout out to you guys, even if you decide to rage quit, during the live chat because you were offended by something that we said. It really is what it is. It's what we do. It's what we've always done. I appreciate the folks that are over there on Instagram. I don't know. I'll check the stats of it this time to see how well it did over there. This go around, I quit doing Kick because after 5 straight episodes, we only had 1 viewer on Kick. It was a new channel. I got plenty to play with. There's different channels everywhere we can try. Maybe if we build up our Facebook following again, we can do it good on there. But I'm pretty sure that our last episode that we had on our Facebook channel is what got our Facebook channel closed, because we did get a little rowdy that night. Because when you start making fun of Winnie the Pooh and you start talking about Winnie the Flu,
Facebook is too sensitive.
All the algorithms start getting all kind of crazy. And I don't know how I feel about this way, and this is the way Instagram wants me to do it. And it's kind of, it works if you're on your phone. You know, if you're using an app, you can probably watch this, and it probably came in pretty decent. I have to tell you to check other places, give me some feedback on it. I, again, am super excited that I had all three of you guys in here with me this evening. It was so nice to have the OG crew. Of course, I love everybody else that's a part of us too, but shit, you guys is where it started a couple of years ago, and here we are, only the second episode of the year in, and back with you guys, just you guys in here with me this evening again, and it's been awfully nice to cover the field like the way we have this evening, because we sure have been all over the place as normal. We can never come in here with a plan because it doesn't ever work. What can I say?
End of that.
So, but of course, you guys know, even back when we were recording, I love to go around the table and get any last minute things you didn't hit or things you didn't get to cover. And since Bandit's the first one, the longest one being apart since the last time he's been back, I'm going to make him go this evening and tell us his final thoughts of the evening first.
Oh, hey, I'm just glad to be here. No, it's good, man. I mean, we're with the group that we originally started with, and it does kind of bring back.
We love you, Luis. I know you're watching.
Yeah, it does. I'm not saying anything negative about anybody else that's been on the show with us, but
nah. I mean, well,
we're a family. We're a family. It's how it goes.
We did it. We started out with others, but we picked up a whole lot more along the way, I think.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I love where it's been, where it's come, where it's gone, where it's going. Like, it's always good to
It's
talk
ups
to you
and
guys.
downs.
Yeah, it has it. I love doing these lives. I think these lives are great. We're going to keep toying around with other channels. Keep going on YouTube till they kick us off over there, because eventually everybody gets kicked off YouTube. I figure they'll just keep running it as long as I can.
Have you tried like a Twitter live?
We are on Twitter.
Are we?
We are on Twitter at unconstitutionalawakening.com, or at Unconstitutional Awakening, the podcast. And when Luis is on with us, he actually feeds us onto his Twitter as well, because that's the joy of the technology we're using now, this Restream technology, is you guys are free to hook it to any of your channels as well if you have channels that it'll allow you to hook to. It's pretty neat. We can stream on tons and tons of different channels. If any of our friend podcasters ever want to join us on a Wednesday night, you can even stream it on some of your channels while you're streaming from here too. It's just the way that this stream thing works, man. I totally dig this better than what I was using. I liked Zoom, but this has turned out so much better. You don't need an app. You don't need a whole lot of extra stuff. It records everything in 1080p. It gives me an MP3 and a video as soon as we're done. Like, I like it. It's good. It's good stuff. So I don't mean, but is that all you got for me, Bandit? There.
Oh yeah, that's all I got. I'm just happy to be back.
Well, I'm glad you're here. Like, it's been quiet without you, and I've been having to say, if Bandit was here so much that it was getting me kind of sad. What you got for me, Ox?
This has been really nice. Just to sort of echo what Bandit was saying, it's nice to feel like we sort of got the band back together a little bit, and I missed this. And I guess if y'all haven't heard of it before, look into Operation High Jump, because that's a cool one. Go down the rabbit hole.
All right, I like that. Yeah, that's a good one to go down. What you got for me, Neptune?
It's shaping up to be a good year already, fellas. I'm happy to be here. feel this is the first one.
I read that message you sent in the group chat. I'm stoked for you, buddy.
Yeah,
Absolutely,
this
man.
has been
That's
a good
super
year
awesome.
for me, kicking off already, and I hope this is a good year for everybody. So I only have one thing to say, and that is my high energy ass saying, "Let's fucking go!"
Well, since nobody said it tonight, I guess I'll bring it up for you. So let's go.
The Industrial Revolution and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race.
I mean, it's got to be brought up every night. So, well, again, I can't thank all of you guys enough for tuning in. Of course, checking out our nonsense every Wednesday night, everywhere that you're watching it, and of course checking out the replays on everywhere you can listen to it. I'm sorry I can't put the replays on BitChute. The quality is just too good, and BitChute will not handle it. I have to turn the quality down to put the videos on BitChute. So make sure you're watching on Odyssey, Rumble, YouTube, live on Instagram again this week, maybe again next week. I don't know. We might toy with something else. Maybe we'll be back here again. Just depends on how I'm feeling or how many people show up, because the more the merrier, and the more screen space that I need, of course. You guys can find all of our social medias, of course, out there that are going on right now. We're back on Facebook at UA the Podcast. It's gonna take some time to build that one up. There's literally only me following it, so if you're on Facebook, go take some time to check that out. We're on Twitter at UA the Podcast, and Instagram at Unconstitutional Awakening, and TikTok at UA the Podcast or Captain Conspiracy 101. It'll pop up for either one of those, as well as everywhere where you've watched us tonight: Rumble, YouTube, Odyssey, Twitter, and Instagram. Or I mentioned that, of course, already. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. You can totally find all of that and more at unconstitutionalawakening.com, including a cool place to go get you some sweet Unconstitutional Awakening merch, man. There's all kinds of great stuff over there. I actually finally made a whole whopping $15 off of it, so I appreciate who's ever out there and bought a shirt. It's pretty awesome. So, y'all go use some of that Christmas money and buy yourself something cool. It goes to a good cause. It'll help keep the show going, because it's getting about time for it to renew itself. That's for sure. And it's not a cheap thing to do, that's for sure. So we could greatly appreciate it. You can also help us out by checking out our friends in Liberty. You guys know where to find all of that, of course, over there at unconstitutionalawakening.com. Aside from that, you guys know that I want to give you something funny to laugh at before we get out of here, because that's just the way I go. And, did you guys know that my mother-in-law would have been on one of the planes that crashed at 9/11, right? If only I had bought her a ticket to actually go on the flight. Good night, everybody.